Hi there. Why I like Gnosticism? Well, it should be why I'm attracted to Gnosticism because in order to like something, you have to completely know the whole package, which I can't say that I do know the whole package of Gnosticism in its entirety, and also in context and in juxtaposition to Orthodox Christianity. I would say that would take many, many years of study. So, really, why I'm attracted to Gnosticism in its basic form, as I understand it, that is, Um, well, start off with positive. I mean, it seems to me that you get things like compassion and altruism and kindness and selfless love and unconditional love and even pacifism. And these would be like the sparks of Keter, the supernal Sephiroth in the Tree of Life, in Malkut, which is called the Kingdom in the Tree of Life. And Malkut is what we see around us now. And and these little sparks of heaven, I suppose, are seen in acts of kindness and compassion and so forth. Um, they are reflections of the supernal world. If you imagine the world of the demiurge as being like a black um, a, a black matte painted board. When you begin to scratch at it, you begin to notice that underneath this black paint, there is a white board, and these so altruism and compassion would be the little scratchings, for example, in this black matte board, which reveals underneath little areas of white. I mean, they don't last very long. They're quickly covered over, and they don't make much of an impression. I mean, they make little sparks of light, but not very big. And then, of course, the vision of the Holy Spirit and the vision of the Holy Grail, and the miracles of Christ, which still happen now. They will be bigger scratches, if you like, in the black panel to reveal more of the light underneath. But again, this is the demiurge's turf, if you like, and and for all the positive things that do happen, the basic balance is one of negativity, and that matter is inherently evil because it's inherently scarce, and the realms of the demiurge are the essence of scarcity itself and of separation from the Godhead. So basically, looking at the rather negative aspects. For example, the people that you're in relationship with, or the people that you come across in social media, or in real life, or whether you have an intimate relationship with. I mean, there's a whole bunch of types of these people. I mean, we all know the spammers. We all know the scammers, grifters, which is con men, um, um, drifters, sort of people that have no morality or amoral anyway. Shapeshifters, that refers to people that you think you know who they are, and they turn out to be very different or even opposite to what you thought they were. So that's kind of what I meant by shapeshifters. Hope sifters, people that positive thinkers and people that give you all expectation to hope for something, and then they take it away from you, basically. Um, that's the hope lifters, life shifters, sifters. People that are sort of criticizing you, going through your life with a fine tooth comb and saying you made a mistake here and you made a mistake there, and generally criticizing your entire life from beginning to end, which of course we often do ourselves, of course, to ourselves. But occasionally you meet other people that go through your life like that in a critical way. Trolls and bullies, obviously we've met loads of them in the family, outside the family, on social media, etc., etc. Psychic vampires, very interesting. Those people that seem to suck the very life essence out of people that they're in relationship with. It's not their fault. I mean, they could literally have some kind of entity attached to them, or at least that's the theory anyway. It's probably nothing to do with that really, but psychic vampires. It's probably a bit of a prejudiced expression actually. But anyway, there's certainly needy people around, the needy, the great unwashed, I suppose, and then finally. There are people that are, exploiters, manipulators, and predators, and they predate on you, and they manipulate you, and they exploit you in various wonderful ways, subtle ways, gross ways, unexpected ways, expected ways. And the reason why all these people do all these things to you, and why there are types of people that you come across that are like this, and maybe you're one of these people, of course, or maybe you've been one of these people in life, is because of scarcity. I mean, this is the realm of the demiurge we're talking about here. It's scarcity and fear at the heart of all these types of people that you come across, or types of person that you've been yourself. And one of the things, though, one of the things about Gnosticism and what Gnosticism teaches in basis is that this realm is of no value, no ultimate value. But I was looking actually at this word no value, or this phrase no value, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I agree with it being of no value. I mean, I don't really know, and I don't know about the word evil. I mean, evil matter or evil world. I'm not quite sure about that. It seems a bit of a loose definition. I mean, the point is that we cry when we're hit. Some people like me cry before they're hit, and we're always worrying about the future. Other people like me cry about being hit in the past and bring all that up all the time, especially when we're feeling tense about the present. We bring up all the past misdeeds that have been done against us, and all the past unfairness and injustices. And another thing. It's like we accuse the universe of being this horrible, abusing kind of creature, which on one level it is, and it is the demiurge. What can you expect? But I was looking for this, I don't valueless. No, I don't like that. Evil. I don't like that really. I mean, even non-reality. There's a basis for that in the sense that that this world is sort of is attached to something underneath it. It's like pulled, stretched over the supernal worlds, which are eternal light, and the black world is sort of pulled over, as you could visualize it like that. But anyway, the point about it is that I was looking for another word, and then the word disinterest came to my mind. It certainly used, well, the meaning of the word now is more akin to indifference. But I didn't like that word either, because it's a bit nihilistic, really. Like you're indifferent in a sort of existential way. I mean, if you're going to have compassion and kindness, well, I mean, they're not acts of indifference, are they? So they would sort of tend to militate against the essence of indifference that is supposed to be present in this world. I was thinking of matter of disinterest in the in the sense of being impartial, being an impartial, objective judge of things. You're just judging things as they arise, and things arise for various reasons, or sometimes it just arise randomly, or just through sheer bad luck and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But whatever it is, you're looking at the whole thing in a disinterested way. You're looking at all these characters, and of course, I might say here that, of course, the drama queen. Well, the drama queen is you, and the agent of reaction is you. So you react. You start crying when you're hit by any one of these characters, and you cry about being hit, having been hit by one of these characters, or you cry about the fact that you might come across one of these characters and be exploited or whatever by them. So you're the drama queen in all this, in this whole reality show. And you're the one who's sort of like screaming and shouting and cursing God about it all. And you're the one getting hot and steamy about it, and reducing your life expectancy because of your stress about it all. But you really want to cultivate a sense of disinterest. So you're sort of looking at the whole of existence from a soul level, which is basically just to look at it from outside. It's not that you're not crying. I mean, cry me a river, you know. It's not that you're not suffering or reacting or whatever, but you're sort of you're looking down at yourself, reacting to all this stuff. Really, a little story. I once saw a child having a tantrum, like they do, a toddler, and she was, crying bitterly about the fact she couldn't get what she wanted or something. But at the same time, I observed that she was looking around her environment. She was looking around, I think it was a railway station. She was looking at all the people going past, and she was still crying bitterly about about everything. But she was crying and she was interested in other things as well at the same time. It's almost like there was a part of her that was kind of detached from the crying bit of her. And she was sort of looking around and being interested in other things as well, being distracted at the same time as being upset, you see, which I thought was fascinating. And perhaps this is something that, when you're looking from soul level, you're sort of looking at the Holy Grail or the Holy Spirit or thinking about Jesus Christ on one hand, and you're also crying on the other. But then perhaps, you get sufficiently distracted, well, not distracted, but you get sufficiently absorbed in the vision of the Holy Grail, for example, to not really see any value in your crying, as indeed you can't see any value in being hit. There's no ultimate value in the crying and being hit. And you sort of adopt or cultivate a sense of disinterest in the whole thing, really, like as if you're somebody else watching yourself, kind of thing, because your soul is looking. You're the bird sitting on the tree looking at the bird feeding, to put it in Eastern, in a kind of Eastern tantric terms, and certainly that's something that you cultivate. And I think just the thought basically that this world is the world of the demiurge, it kind of reduces your expectations as well. So even though you might still cry, you also in the midst of crying suddenly think, well, what did I expect? This is a realm of the demiurge. I can't expect anymore. I can't expect this place to be perfect. It isn't going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. The people I'm in relationship with are not going to be perfect. Of course, but it's a sort of psychological realization, an intuitive realization, I suppose, that this really is the demiurge. This really is the valley of death and the veil of suffering, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. There's nothing the demiurge can do about it, because the demiurge is just creating using the three sulfur, salt, and mercury. And these are forces really that it's just operating with, but it doesn't control them exactly. They partly control it, and they partly control you as well. Almost to the point where you wonder whether it is a demiurge. Perhaps the demiurge itself is just illusory, and the only thing that actually is real is these three forces acting on the universe and the adversarial spirit acting between them. But again, it doesn't matter whether you look at it as a demiurge or what, or just an impersonal interplay of adversarial forces. It's still that there's nothing you can do. So that psychologically, it's kind of liberating. What can I? You have very low expectations, so you're not disappointed by anything that happens because you're kind of expecting it. You're kind of expecting the worst to happen. And if the worst doesn't happen, or even if kindness, compassion, etc., operates for a bit, even in the prison of the soul, there still can be a few breaks. There happen a few lucky breaks, a few people that take care of you when you least expect it, and that's great when that happens. But you're not expecting it to happen. you're more or less expecting the worst, really. But again, you're not crying about it. You're not being a drama queen about it. You're not reacting against it. You're very objective. Again, you have a disinterested attitude to everything that happens. And disinterested in the fact that if you're a disinterested party, you're not affected by anything. You see, so you really are impartial. You don't benefit or the opposite to anything that actually happens to you, which might sound rather peculiar, but it's an interesting thing to cultivate. And the people that do cultivate seem to be very chilled out about everything that does happen, really, and they don't seem to be terribly upset about anything. So that's really what I want to leave this at, I think, really, because I think that, Gnosticism does provide a framework for understanding the universal sorrow of the universe and of the human condition and the sort of dukkha, dukkha, dukkha that one might cry in anguish. It does provide a sort of metaphysical solace, if you like, and even a source of comfort, because you take away your expectations. You take away your your demands on the universe to be something that it is not. It is not a paradise. It's a paradise lost, and that's all you can say about it. So you are going to be in suffering and sighing, and that's really it. And why put store in anything external to your soul when you know that it's fallible, imperfect, flawed. It's going to go wrong. It's subject to scarcity. It's subject to ill luck, and that's all you can really say of it. So I suppose that's kind of why I'm attracted to Gnosticism. As I said, I can't say I like Gnosticism because I don't know Gnosticism completely. But the basics of Gnosticism that I do know about, I seem to be attracted to for the reasons that I've described.